Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Let's fix that stream title very quickly. There we go. What? Bill says Monday through Friday viewers sweats. Que pasa? There we go. Weekend 5+5 viewers sweats. More like it. And we're off. I think we have only a few F3s left to play. Or unfortunately, just after I take the password off. All right, and we're off. What are we doing here? Can I go this way? Let's try it. Hanging a pawn. No longer hanging a pawn. I need a better strategy, honestly. Fair enough. Let's build up in the center. Moment of truth. Continuing our build up. Why does our opponent have such weak dark squares? Guess we'll find out. All right, you got me there. I admit it. You got me there. Somehow we finished the opening before our opponent, not moving the same piece twice. Now we have to do a little bit of maneuvering here, it looks like. Just a little bit of maneuvering. Let's see how we go about this. Should we? Make sure that's not with check. G3, knight h3, check, king moves. Knight takes f2, rook takes f2, yada yada yada. Let's keep him from expanding on the queen side. Patience is a virtue. So now he's ready for b5, is that correct? Continue to expand on the queen side. Oh no, sir. What are you up to? I'm not taking the second one. I'm taking that one. You have to throw in the check first. And now do we throw that one in? I think we can. Let's pretend like nothing is happening. Do we get an eviction notice? I don't know if we get an eviction notice this way. All right. Where's my knight going? We're just going to have to batten down the hatches just a wee bit. Is he castling? Rook g8. Do I return the piece? Or do we continue expanding on the queen side? Now I think we return the piece because we can open up lines. There's no stopping us from opening up lines, and our rooks are coming in at just the right time. Maybe the bishop should have gone to e2. Let's see what we're allowed to capture and what we're not allowed to capture. Check, f4, knight g4, trapping my queen. Is this true? Or do we force the trade of queens? We got one pawn for the piece. Not sure what he's planning on doing here. This looks like he's all in. Fair enough. Takes. Moves, takes again. f4, queen g4. Just batten down some hatches. Let's keep it up. Avoid getting mated if at all possible. Oops. Now we are up to be a lot of pieces up, unfortunately. If this attack does not pan out for him, which it doesn't look so good, he could be in trouble. Let's keep it up. Let's keep up the attacks. So sorry, Robert. Well, at least we were relatively on time this morning. We just did not get the stream started, but we were on time for the tournament. I promised myself yesterday that I would not miss a day again. Future champion. This is a new account. A slightly new account from the old something 777. Born on July 7th, 77 or July 1977? July 1977 will put him at, I don't know if we've done enough Budapests. Still playing for content here. Black is slightly worse in this position, unfortunately. It is one of those tragic things that black is still worse. Our opponent is performing fairly well, like a 22-36 over his last 4 rapid games. We need to put the pawn on e3. There, the recovery of our pawn. He has a space advantage, but I have a slightly, if you can consider it, better bishop. Now this move does work against the England Gambit. I do recommend the same exact move against the England Gambit. So he has a potential knight to d5. Are we at all concerned? Of course we're concerned. So he always has e4 for his knight, and he has e4 for his queen as well. Do we go for the development, or do we go for... No, we don't want to give him d5 for his queen. Necessarily.
Ujjval Busin
said, Namaste, sir.
Namaste as well. How are you? I apologize the other day. Let's do this. I didn't get you a shout out the other day, unfortunately.
Ujjval Busin
said, am doing well, just about to stream as well.
Let's start our expansion. try to pretend like this
Dark
is all
blade.
part of the plan to rip
Said,
open this
Hello Sensei, long
diagonal.
time no see. My trip abroad was disastrous, so I hope you're doing better.
G5, Queen G3. What is the point? G5, Queen G3, Knight takes C4. And then I have no shelter for my king. I can just take the pawn on C4. B5. Now let's keep our development going. Let's not go for any material gains. Let's just increase our pressure. And now that the diagonal is weakened, do we wait for that one to be open and available? And F2 is weak. Bishop takes F2, Queen takes F2, Knight H3, or King takes F2, Knight G5. I don't know, let's just see what we can do on it, just only because it's there. A little bit of the wrong rook theory. We don't want him to go too far, mind you. Is he getting away? That is the question. So he has two minor pieces and a rook for the queen. Rook on A1 is definitely its downfall. We will have 3 pawns for this piece. If at all necessary. D5, D4 in the works? Maybe. Let's see where the knight plans on going. Okay. We do need to open up some lines. That much is true. So let's see, D4. Doesn't look as good as it should be. We're going to need access to the G3 square if we're going to get anything. Yes, I expected as much. Now, is he planning on trying an escape route? I don't know. We'll find out. So let's see if we do this check or that check. Is it a fork? He's giving me a free pizza. And now this check, that check. Can't make up my mind, but we do gain time on the bishop this way. We do get to batten down the hatches a little bit, since we have now a rook. The queen. First things first, let's just make sure that there's no funny business here. So let's see, a check here, a check there. The Budapest does its job, getting us out of theory, modern theory anyway. Fabulous Budapest, ladies and gentlemen. I believe the book is available on Chessable by Moskalenko. I'm sorry to hear that, Dark Blade. What happened in your trip abroad? I apologize for not getting back to you sooner. I was concentrating on my game. I'm terribly sorry. Let's see what our stats are for... Oh no, I have one of these post-it note dispensers where I don't know which direction it's going in.
At a bunch of misfortunes.
Bunch. Gary Kasparov, at one of his foreign events, he fell into a pothole of a snowbank and got all wet and soaked. I remember at one chess tournament, and his mother said to him, "It is better to have the misfortunes off the board than on the board." Which is amusingly true. So let's see, we have H4, H3, B4, A4, C3, G4, F3.
Dark Blade
said. Also, I feel like my chess has drastically deteriorated. I'm scared to play now.
You're scared to play now. Well, I'll tell you a secret. It is very scary in many situations, like getting on an airplane. The only way that we will achieve greatness is by approaching our comfort zones as best we can. So you have to get back in the ring as soon as possible. Get over that. Just get back in the ring and practice moving those pieces as best you can. That's all I can say. We need 13 more F3s, 80 more G4s. C3s, we need 117. A4s are at 75, 125 more. 70, 70, and 65. LCC Condra, how are you, man? Let's finish our F3s. Let's see if we can get our F3s out of the picture. We should be at 188 now. We'll know in a moment. I don't know if that move was played without thinking, but it appears so, LCC Condra. You did not look at my idea. What is the opponent's big idea? Where are the weaknesses? Oh no, what did I do? I wasn't paying attention myself. King F2 was perfectly acceptable.
Said.
You'd give him a little bit of an eviction notice here.
I might as well get back in shape.
So we do wish to trade pieces. do we? Unfortunately, I didn't have time for knight f2. Knight e2 for knight f4. Let's keep the pin going, just for the moment. Could be time for some expansion in the center, but we have to watch out. Yes. Expansion in the center, somewhat called for. D takes e4, knight takes e4, bishop f4 check. He is back to his business as usual. But our knight is getting to a better square. King f1 could have been called for. Need to get our king castled as fast as humanly possible. Guarding the d4 knight. Some small threats in the future. Just a small discovery. Considered a trade. Oh no! LCC Condra, look at your opponent's ideas. We're at 190 now. What? Now it's caught up. I don't know if it's truly caught up or not, but 190. All the other numbers remain the same, so they are now just catching up. And now I went from a negative to a plus. Let's see if this number keeps increasing. Rook h3 was a random move. h6 would have been better. Can't argue with that. e3 could have been better. e3, bishop d3, and knight e2. Trying to catch the bishop unawares, right where it is. Was knight e2 better? I believe knight e2 was better. h6 again. Just to keep that pawn weak. But I don't like locking up the king side. I like to keep my options open for the attack like I did. And now this square is very tender. Yes, c4 was the move. I'm sorry, c5 was the move, and I'd probably have to take. Because that's the only way I'll be able to continue with knight e2. Queen to g1. Knight g3, knight f5 possibilities. Now I'm just winning with knight f4. Rook takes f4 check is necessary. It's quite incredible if rook f4 check is necessary. Bishop e4, knight e6. So on the immediate knight e6, I get to take the knight on f6 for free. So that's the problem. That is indeed a problema. So rook takes e4 was away. Always keep in mind where the weaknesses are. For instance, in that game it was g7, and the knight on c5 was unprotected, so that was a double whammy in the final position there. What is the opponent's best placed piece? What is the opponent's worst placed piece? What are your worst and best placed pieces? All the time. In the beginning, when I played h4, I only had one intention, and that was to trap the bishop. So keep the opponent's big idea in mind. By the way, Dark Blade, the time control doesn't really matter, and in fact, you should lose every game on time if you're playing Blitz, if you want to play well. It's not about the result, it is about the quality of the play. It is really, really, really not about the result, it is absolutely about the quality of the play. You are practicing to become a better player, not to achieve a win in a random training day Swiss. The moment the idea of winning creeps into your head, it clouds your judgment. If you wish to avoid the ads on Twitch, it is perhaps time that you subscribed and click the bell for the notification on the YouTube channel.
Darkblade
said, I understand, Sensei, it's just I tried some puzzles and it was all messy in my head.
So the ultimate unfortunate drawback to puzzles is that you treat every position as though it is to play and win. And that's not exactly how it works. In 85 to 90% of your moves on the chessboard, they are not white to play and win problems, they are white to play and perhaps achieve something. But on average, let's see, I played the Budapest last time. Let's go with the Dutch this time against Ujwal Bashid, who is streaming on YouTube, I believe. But maybe not. He might be on Twitch.
Said, sorry I don't get notifications, so I'm late.
Oh, no worries. Definitely click the bell and join the Discord, and you can mute your notifications on Discord. So if you subscribe to YouTube, you can also click the bell for the notifications. And mobile notifications are sometimes needed. I'm not sure what my opponent's bishop is doing on f4, to be honest. We will play the Leningrad Dutch against our worthy opponent here. In fact, I think that if you do play the London, there's an entirely different recommended system against.
IALR have the bell and so.
Excellent. Let's make sure we don't love it with a pre-move. There are no pre-moves in Rapid that are ever worth it, except toward the end. Is my opponent going to go nuts? We'll find out. He is preventing me from playing the move knight e4 though. We're not playing London, by the way. We are playing a Leningrad Dutch against a Queen's Pawn opening. You have left the world of the Dutch for a very, very unfortunate
LCC Condra
said, hi.
Good morning, LCC. Always keep your opponent's idea in mind every time you move. Your opponent is not there to help you win, contrary to popular belief. So do we play h6 in order to play what we're about to play? Is he going for the d5 square?
LCC Condra.
Is he going for the e4 square?
Might I ask you,
Frank
May I
M.
ask you?
said. I think he's gonna check you and you can't block with Biohop BC, then it's gone,
It's
Frank
possible.
said. NBM,
Well, my plan is to play e6 in this position at any given moment. But I have to watch out, because if I play knight on b to d7, it also gets very, very awkward. So is he castling on the queen side? That is the question. Let's just give him a moment. I do wish for him to sacrifice in the center or on the side of the board. I can't play the traditional queen e8 maneuver either, because the c7 square is a bit tender. It's both unfortunate and a little bit tragic. This f2 square is a little tender, so we are ready for knight to
LCC
g4 at
contra.
any given moment, should we get
Set.
the opportunity.
do you have chess book? Should I read that I can improve my chess skill?
Have you finished Capablanca, LCC Contra? That was our last assignment. Now in this position, I'm not entirely sure what my opponent is looking at, because the game has not begun yet. We are still in the opening phase, so there shouldn't be any action taking place just yet. All right, so it appears that my opponent's plan is to play for castling queen side. And we'll see if that's his intention.
LCC Condra.
Said. What chew?
LCC Condra.
Said. What book? Capablanca.
Capablanca
LCC
move
Condra.
by move is the most
Said.
readily available book
I
right
forgot.
now. You forgot? I've been recommending
Shri.
this book for a year, sir.
Said.
Good morning,
Hi.
Sri Deep. And now my
LCC
opponent
Contra.
is playing
Said.
for what?
THX.
Frank M.
Said. In 2 days is school? Smiling face with tear.
Shri Deep.
Said. Had a brilliant day in an OTB tournament today.
Shri Deep.
Said. Won all 3 of today's rounds.
Nicely done, Sri Deep. But did you win? Most chess games are lost. Did you actually win the games, or did your opponent lose them? Much of the time, our opponents lose them. Ah yes, we were expecting this. Welcome to the jungle. We've got what you
LCC
need.
Condra.
Said. Sorry, thank you.
My f5 square was actually hanging as well in that position. My bishop was unprotected. My e6 square is weak. There are a number of things happening in this position that are very
LCC
awkward.
Condra.
Said.
So now my opponent
I am
wishes to...
seriously read this book.
Yes, Absolutely, you must read that book. So what is my opponent doing? I think he wants to checkmate me. I could be wrong, but it's possible that he wants to checkmate me.
LCC Condra.
Said. Next time I will read.
Somehow I knew that move was coming. Now we have an advantage in material. And we are expanding in the center. I can only hope that he wishes to
LCC Condra.
engage more material. Now I'm down to rook and a
Next
knight.
time I
Easily
will
down
find
rook.
you on this.
Mm-hmm. So the e4 square is under attack.
LCC Condra.
Said. Thank you.
LCC Condra.
Said. May I L.
Frank M.
Now he is
Said.
getting a little bit of play
Next time
here.
I will be here on time.
Frank M.
Said. Or not if.
Frank M.
Said. I don't know.
LCC Condra.
Said. May I leave this streaming?
Let's just get more forces across to the king side for some defense.
Frank M.
Said. You may not.
Do we evict him? I think we have to evict him, right?
Nowards.
Said. Hello there.
LCC Condra.
Said. Thank you.
As much as I wish to attack him on that square, I could not. But we are going to open up some lines, unfortunately. The discovery worked. Anytime your queen is across from a rook, you must have a sense of danger.
Oli.
Said. Good morning, John.
Good morning.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning, Mr. World of Tanks. That was a good example of my opponent playing alone, to be honest. Let's just make sure of what we need here. Oh, I played F5 since my last
LCC Condra.
inventory.
Said. I
Have to
love
reason.
you.
Aww. Bill says white is better in this position. It's hard to believe. After
Frank
knight
M.
b1, white cannot be
Said.
better.
Good morning from Germany, where us is 3 p.m.
Oli.
Said. Way too kind, thank you very much.
We're kind of A to E8. D takes C5. Castle's queenside.
Frank M.
Said. Guy.
Is that true that that was best? That is true that that was best. He was gaining a lot of time on that. Knight takes C4 was very vicious. I mistook that one. You had to play knight G6, and I was going to play rook E6.
Said. JK.
Knight E7, was I going to play knight E7? I guess I want to keep the option open of playing bishop to D5.
LCC Condra.
Said. I love you.
Aw, you have to use the L word sparingly for it to be more of value, by the way. You can't just say the L word all the time. Alright, G4, C3. Let's see if we can get 17 C3s in. A world of possibilities exists after the move C3. I remember playing the move C3 on the first move once and not playing it very well. My opponent played E5, but I have a whole bunch of new strategies as a much stronger player. We might need a coffee break after this. So we have one more C3 in. We're hoping for 7 C3s in the near future, if possible. Well, I don't have a choice, unfortunately. We're going to play a very solid game. Can we induce some weaknesses? We can. Wow. Let's induce some more weaknesses while we're at it. That's craziness, folks. E4. Knight takes E5. D takes E5. E4, D takes E4, Knight takes E4, Knight F6. G takes F6, and he wins a pawn. We're going to give it up, folks. We're just going to give it up. We did manage to achieve some small advantages. We're going to try to keep an advantage on the clock. Most of the time when I lose to Viper, I have a slightly better position, often even better than slightly better position. And Viper rips me to shreds in my time scramble. So you learn to deal with a variety of opponents on a regular basis. The F5 square is crying out for my knight, so on G4, knight H4, I will be quite happy. As best we can, and we're going to continue our development appropriately. We're going to keep pounding our way in. What? Is this for real? Queen. Let's just see, is that worth it? Queen H5, F6. He plays on Queen G6. He plays the ever so unfortunate E4, shutting down my entire attack, and then I'm forced to sacrifice another piece, which is no good. Alright. So he's just still trying to coordinate his forces ever so carefully. Is G4 an option if I block with F5? No. But I do get the opportunity to stop him a little bit. Remember, I have to keep a little bit of a time advantage. We do wish to soften him up on the white squares. Continue to soften him up on the white squares. Our king is still in the center. We also have to address that, folks. We do. We have to address that. We're going to continue our expansion. As best we can into his dark squares, into his white squares. So we did have knight to c5 on the previous move and capture it. Was it worth it? We will find out. He always has knight d5. Our worst placed piece is the knight on f3. How do we accomplish anything there? I don't know. But Viper's record against me, he's won the last 4 in a row. I wish to put a stop to it. He's +6. And now for something completely different, he's definitely going for the e3 square. Perhaps even the f4 square. And now that he's put his knight on f4,
said,
we do have the option.
BTW in my new school I'm in eng kindergarten friend and kindergarten is German.
Chester King
said, hey, do you coach?
I absolutely do coach Chester King. Let's not touch our keyboard. Alright, we wish to keep our advantage in time. But how do I evict that knight properly? I don't know. Is queen to g4 a threat or promise?
Frank M.
said, let me see if I can add you on chess.
Chester King
said, where can I get info?
I believe that I have a coaching profile on Lee Chess. Don't believe the rate there.
Chester King.
Said. Okay.
So now knight to f5, or do we play rook takes and rook to e1 first and then play knight f5?
Frank
Let's
M.
do it that way.
Said. I found you.
The rate might be old. That was a pre-COVID rate on the whole. Knight on f3 is still my worst placed piece. It's really tragic. I wasn't able to coax him into queen to g4, unfortunately. All right, now for the moment of truth. Is my position good enough to bother him some more? He has queen to e1, queen to e3. Actually, he doesn't have queen to e3 either. Let's just invade as best we can. He does have queen to e3. That's tragic. That's a bummer. All right, so we have a 1 minute time advantage, but it is not worth it. Just to get past Viper.
Frank M.
Viper has always been a nemesis.
Emma also plays some chess. If that's okay, I think I sended you a friend request, but you don't need to accept. You decide. Have a good day or night. Bye.
Oh, I'll always accept your friend request, Frank. That was on chess.com, yeah? Have a great day, Frank. Talk to you soon, man. So Chester King 0. Chester King 46, sorry. What is the year 46? Chester is an old school name, so it could be that he is that old school. Do I wish to play it this way? C5? Now let's just go with standard. Harpov, Portnoy, Pirt's defense, etc. Should play c6, honestly. But maybe, just maybe, I will get it anyway.
Frank M.
Said. Yet I'm ill like many said Mayor Crabs ready bad name. Bye.
I like money, Admiral Crab.
Frank M.
Said. And I send it on the app.
Got it. Thanks, Frank. I apologize that I'm not on chess.com that often, so hopefully I will get to it today or tomorrow. I have a student immediately after this, as it turns out. I was worried that my opponent was actually thinking about that, to say the least. I will tenderize my own kingside for the bishop pair. How about that? See if we can get him to retreat.
Shri Deep.
Said. I've GTG now.
Shri Deep.
Shrideep,
Said.
thank you for being here, buddy.
Bye.
It is always great to see you. Wow. My opponent literally...
Said. It's okay, you don't need to hurry, I can wait, do when you feel like.
My opponent literally opened up his own kingside. Worsened his own bishop. Let's give him a brief checkup. The G6 square is fixed in place as a weakness. I'll give him that much. I'm not really after the bishop, to say the least. Yes. Just after these positional holes in the position, that's all. Now tying down his queen to that square. Don't really want his knight to have any more squares than it already has. And now for something completely different. Oh, that is true. You do have me there. You do have me on that note. I could have played d5 before. In one go, I could have played d5. I don't think f5 was a threat. Yes. And now we're tied down just a little bit. Tragic and true. He's stopping knight c4, but my knight has other ways into this position. Takes, check. Now we're no longer pinned. We do need to relocate our pieces ever so carefully to other squares. Chester King does have a nice solid game here, but he does have some inherent weaknesses. We're hoping to take advantage of those weaknesses, if at all possible. Okay, so f7 is covered enough. F3 is weak, h4. C6, B4. F4 in exchange for G6. Is that possible? Did I trap my rook? It is possible that I trapped my rook. Or am I just tempting him? That is the question. And now I don't have C5 just yet. So it looks as though my knight needs greater purpose. All right, so 2 pawns for 1. Is that the story? Is it true that we need that now? Takes. Should have taken the bishop with check. Did not expect that. I was almost pre-moving on king d3. Did not expect him to hang his bishop with check. Where does his bishop go now? It does look bad. Sorry, Chester King. Black again? Fine.
Chester King.
Said. GG.
Mm-hmm. Come on in. You're the next contestant. On the pawn is right. Mommy is another player that always gets me, by the way. Always gets me. I think my record against Mommy, I'm -5. Wow, that's bizarre. Bizarre and possibly efficient. The d4 square is screaming out for me. Possibly I should have played it. Knight to d4 instead of knight e5. Would it have resulted in anything? He's stopping me from playing what I want to play. That's so bizarre. So what is he threatening? I don't know what he's threatening. Maybe he's trying to give up the bishop pair. Alrighty. And now for something completely different. The e6 pawn is still weak. The d8 square is still weak. The c6 knight is still weak. Wow. We are suffering on several fronts. But I would like this knight to go back. I would like to get both of my rooks into the game somehow and not be tied down to defending. Alright, now the moment of truth. Does he have a way in? I see no real way in. Where's the knight going? To A6? I don't know, but we have to start probing some weaknesses. We need to start probing the weaknesses. And now, do we continue probing the weaknesses? Probing the weaknesses. Pawn takes was very tempting. Knight a5 is still crying out, but unfortunately my knight has no future on e5. Oh, he doesn't have f4 right away. We'll go with our original intention. Which is to overwork him as much as possible. So after knight takes e4, knight takes e4. He's no longer losing f2 with check. Is that the story? Takes, 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 takes. F5 is crying out. I still have no good square for my bishop. So let's just do it. Still have no good square for my bishop, so while the f5 square is still crying out, we will see. So let's see what he's threatening now. I don't really want him to come any closer. That was necessary. Mm-hmm. As much as I love my bishop, I don't want it to get trapped by c3 either. Bishop takes, bishop takes. What discoveries does he have? We have a really annoying bishop to opposite color problem happening. Bishop b2. Mm-hmm. He is getting my bishop. But is he getting anything else? Let's just keep maneuvering for better squares. How about that? Rook check. He has knight e2. Fine. Well, that was interesting. Just an exchange, folks. Just an exchange. Small threats, nothing major. Nothing to worry about here, folks. King up. Now let's let him do that. As our knight is on d4, there is no mate. One, two. Wow, he walked into the mate. That's craziness. There has to be a mate here. Oh, there's no mate? That's annoying. Oh my god, did I miss the mate? I missed the checkmate? That's craziness. First things first, I want to keep this king on the side of the board. And only if I can reach a winning king and pawn ending. Whoops. Wasn't after the pawn, I was after the mating net with knight f6 check. Or knight f6 without check. It does help to have a relatively good night's sleep. For those who have not yet joined the YouTube channel, you may watch all of the daily streams in the daily stream playlist. I add this one to the daily stream playlist within the next 24 hours. Please subscribe to YouTube. Hit the bell for notifications if you wish to watch without ads here. Basically, you can time it so that you don't have ads on either place. I was very lucky once again. It's better to be lucky than good. Ujwal Basin, by the way, if you've not yet followed Ujwal. He is a great guy, worthy of streaming, trying his best. Relatively new from what I understand, but I don't necessarily know how long he's been streaming. I am hoping to get one more instructional stream in We can look at what happened in that last game against Mommy. Now, Mommy has a great record against me. He is playing the King's Indian attack. This is an opening I don't recommend as white. Just want to check my GTO. For those of you who are paying attention, I'm trying to play one game. 200 games with every possible first move, just to see how it's done. So at C3, we had 2 blacks in a row to finish off the tournament, so we didn't really get any headway here. 83. We should be at 84, I think, in the C3 category. Is it still loading? It doesn't say that it's still loading. Sometimes you have to do this. All set. Yes, we are at 84. So hitting the set button and going back resets the count, just in case it's not coming up for you. I'm way behind on my D4s for some reason. Oh, it's because in the Opera-Spiel tournament, which is tomorrow, the Opera-Spiel League, I am promoting Opera-Spiel in more than one location. It is not something I'm getting paid to do, nor do I get free merchandise from them. I just enjoy their league, and it is Magnus Carlsen's chess club after all. So in this particular position, let's just go with the computer analysis for a moment. Learn from your mistakes. Wait a minute, I was not white. I was black in this position, so let's do that. Learn from your mistakes. A really amazing feature in general. So bishop takes f3 was not the move in this position. It's crazy. King h7 must be the move. Hard to believe. A defensive move being the best. So strange. Do I take with this? That? I just play wow. Rook takes f3. And if G takes f3, bishop takes f3. And I just take the knight after that. Where does he move to? Are his white squares that weak that I can just play queen to d7, queen h3? I guess so. I spotted the white squares as a weakness, and I ultimately used them as a weakness. Dead equal, huh? Gave away my position for dead equal. All I do is just keep attacking, improving my position until my opponent blunders, and then I failed to take advantage of this particular situation. If you've not yet joined the Discord, you'll also get notifications on the Discord. Let's just put up the socials. All the socials are there. Join the channels, join the dojo, join the Discord. Follow me on Instagram. I definitely post a notification on Twitter, which I'm not really happy with the new X logo. This is the one where I wanted to know what I'd done wrong. Learn from my mistakes. So I played b6, but I had knight to d4 here. Or do I play knight to d7 and just continue maneuvering in like I'm supposed to? Seems strange that I can play knight to d7. But white is better. White is winning after this move. e5 straight away. I see. no really good way to defend that, eh? Knight to d7, knight h4. Bishop to b7 is impossible. So I have to play knight to d8. And then knight to d5 is threatening to discover, winning a pawn. And I have no good way out of it. Wow. That was a nice deep maneuver. e5. That has to go in my book. e5, removing the defender of the knight, discovering on the knight. That's going in my book. Where are the weaknesses chapter? Let's go to the share and export. We'll save that position. And bring up our positions database. Which and where are all a part of the process. So right now, king to g7 was a blunder, but did I have something better? I'm winning according to this. Never at any given moment do I realize or think that I am winning, to be honest. Rook to b1, knight takes c2. Got it. Immediately. And I just move my bishop away, and I have control of the d file. I was mildly worried about my bishop, but he has to give up a knight for the bishop if he wants to play knight f6 check. Straighten out my pawns. And I always have the d4 square, whether I take back the bishop or not. So that position has to go in. Grab it. Next. So knight to d5. I have a much better move. Do I have the same move? Bishop takes c2. I'm a little worried about the skewer this time. If bishop to b2, rook to b1, knight takes c2, he has rook to e2. So, moment of truth. Does it involve that square? No. Feel free to chime in if you see what I'm missing. I mean, it was a good move last time. Do I capture first, and then I play for the same tactic? Nope. So what is the story? Knight f5? e5? I feel like my knight is in danger because of c3. Bishop is no longer in danger because of a knight check. That's why I played king to g7. But apparently, I have more squares where that came from if he tries to push me out. And of course, if he tries to push me out, I also have bishop to e3. So on c3, I play bishop takes e4. On knight e2, I play bishop takes e4. I'm always getting bishop to e3, aren't I? Sort of want to anchor my bishop if I could, but that pawn on going to c3 is bothering me. So knight e2. Take a look at this move. Where does the knight go after rook to e2? He doesn't have a very good square. He had bishop d3, rook takes d3, c takes d3, and rook takes e2 gives me a piece. 2 pieces for a rook, which are always good for me. F takes g5 and rook e2 anyway. They're also considering just rook to d6. Wow. Rook f2. And of course I can just recapture for the greatest, safest advantage. That's kind of a bother. The unknown factor is being able to play a move like rook takes h3 at the right moment. We're just doubling down on it. All right, next. So in this position, I can simplify with check, check, and check. That's the easiest win. How silly was that? Didn't really think about the win because I was so pre-consumed with the idea of checkmating. But I did get it. Rook to g8. Or I just play rook to g4. You can't do this because he's made it. Alright, nicely done, everybody. I do have to create very important instructional stream perhaps after this one. Let's watch the World Team Championship, or do we have another suggestion for a raid? World Team Championship it is. Hopefully everyone will enjoy that. Thank you for the new follows. Thank you to the moderators for being here. Thank you, Oli, for being here. Mr. World of Tanks. Please subscribe to the YouTube if you haven't already. Hit the bell for the notifications. You should get ad-free viewing if you're already a member of Prime. Thank you, Dark Blade, for checking in and playing. Be certain to join the dojos. We have the Rapid and Classical on weekends. And Daniel King's birthday coming up on Monday in the Standard Dojo. Also, Kingslayer Sloan, Chess Chopin, and I have banded together for the French Bishop Chesscast. The three of us banter about the latest chess news and views. Please give it a moment of your time. Give it a listen. I love for constructive criticism. Episode 4 has the worst audio as I fidgeted with my microphone settings, so you can skip episode 4 if you'd like. It's painful to listen to. But aside from that, we're learning and we're improving, and we're going to cover everything every single day. Cheers and ciao, everyone. Thank you very much.